Stop doing chin-ups. They're a waste of time. If you want strength and a great physique, do this instead. There's two problems with chin-ups and other bodyweight moves that have a fixed level of difficulty. The first is that when you're doing them and able to rep them out, the difficulty is by definition well below your maximum strength. Let's say this is your strength curve for the movement, how much strength you're able to exert across the range of motion. At the top and the bottom, the movement is easier, you're able to pull harder, and in the middle, it becomes the most difficult. The force output required from the chin-up is fixed. It doesn't change across the movement. Your ability does based on biomechanics of your body. So when you're able to be repping out chin-ups, by definition, the difficulty of them is somewhere well below, for most of this range of motion, your maximum strength. And this gap is a gap between the training that you're doing and how effective the training could be in terms of working at the threshold of your strength and therefore stimulating you to get better at the movement, get stronger, build muscle tissue. And the only time you actually get a taste of that proper maximally effective training is when it's too late, when your strength comes down from fatigue to the point where now you're actually finding the limit here. But the issue is you may get one rep there, and then because your fatigue passes this point, now your strength is for some of the movement below what's required of the movement. And so you do the first part of a chin-up, you get to halfway through the rep, and then you're stuck. And so this is the second problem. The first is that, well, most of the movement's useless even when you're getting full range of motion reps. They're not really stimulating your body to grow as they could be. The second issue is that then once they are, you now have to stop training because you're failing, you're not getting full range of motion anymore. At best, you could do a few reps here of getting halfway, and then you're done. And so in terms of the strength training we want to be doing to make our bodies grow, having a fixed level of difficulty like this makes it very hard to accumulate any of that work. And so then maybe you got to go and do a bunch of different sets which each get a tiny bit of work in here. It's just not very efficient or effective. And so what's the solution? What should you do instead? Building your strength in the chin-up movement pattern is a great idea. That in itself is very beneficial. This is just a very inefficient way of doing it. So what we can do instead is this. First, we can take this absolute strength goal level and make it way higher. So let's aim for a one-arm chin-up, because getting to a one-arm chin-up eventually is going to result in far more muscle mass, far more strength and ability than a two-arm chin-up ever will. But now let's scale down so that it's easy enough that even when we're tired, even when we're nowhere near strong enough to do a full one-arm chin-up, we can train full range of motion every single rep. So if we scale down by taking weight off our hand, using our feet, using another arm for assistance, we can make the whole range of motion doable. And then by scaling up, by adding just enough of our body weight back onto that arm that we reach failure, then we can match our strength limit and get only that maximally effective work done.